Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Peace-Eye. Welcome to another video. I got another deck profile for you guys. Top 16 at Locals. 5-round tournament, baby, with Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, this is more of a pure build with the Crimson Dragon package because I have access to that, so it's not necessarily budget. But if you have the Crimson Dragon already, it's an amazing engine. It's very fun. It's exactly my deck style. My son and I are just going to go over the deck for you guys. I got it down to 45 cards. I would have liked to play it at 40, but I wanted to include a bunch of hand traps and then drown out the bricks. I'm going to cook a 60-card list for Blue Eyes, guys, so keep an eye out for that deck profile. All right, let's get into the deck profile. Top 16. I lost 3 rounds and I won 2 rounds, okay? Don't at me. All right. So first up, shout out to fan favorite Jesse for the quarter century Blue Eyes White Dragon. I only had one, and he traded me. I had an ulti Blue Eyes White Dragon for $5, and this is a $30 card. So he just gave me $25 for no reason at all. That guy is so silly. Check out his YouTube channel as well. I linked it into the community post that I just posted the other day. Sage with Eyes of Blue at 3. I mean, obviously it's just a good starter. Normal summon, search any tuner. Maiden of White. This card is cracked. This is exactly what the deck needed. It reborns itself. It reborns a Blue Eyes monster or a tuner from graveyard, and it can just send itself from field or grave, or field or hand to set True Light to your field from anywhere. Basically, it's so crazy. I learned that in tournament against Tyler. I faced a lot of mirrors at the tournament. Like, everyone's on Blue Eyes right now. But everyone has the Primite cards and stuff, which is whatever. The Primite builds don't get to play Neo Kaiser Seahorse. This card's awesome. This card's full combo by itself. And it lets you bridge into Crimson Dragon a lot easier. You don't need to waste one of your spirits. You can go directly with this, with Blue Eyes into it. And you can also use its level modulation ability to use 2 tuners to make the new big boss monster the ultimate spirit dragon as well. People were surprised when I played this, but it came up. This is called Master with Eyes of Blue. Most of the lists are not playing this at all. I liked it because it gives you the opportunity to add back from grave with its normal summon effect, but its broken ability is to shuffle itself into the deck as cost to target a monster on the field and then special summon from graveyard. So I used this in tournament. Check out the duels on the channel. I used it to target the Maiden of White. I'm still learning the names. The Maiden of White to send it to the graveyard and special summon from grave. I chained it and special summoned the Blue Eyes White Dragon off of her. So it was really cool. And the Neo Kaiser Seahorse can just dump this directly, so you don't need to bother searching it. If you already have access to your Maiden. Where are you going? Where are you going? Mwah. I can't believe his mom called me out for what place I got. All right, next up, consistency cards. So I opted for 3 Bingo Machine Go. I was like, all right, I'm playing 45. I was originally just going to play one of this. But I wanted to add a couple more hand traps. Bingo Machine Go searches any one of your good spells, and you reveal 3, and your opponent randomly chooses 1. And they just have to meet the requirement. So you just reveal 3 of the same spell, and it's like having 3 extra copies of your power spells. So, I mean, it's like absolutely broken. Shout out to Rarity Collection 2 for those. Next up, one of the new ones from the structure deck, 3 Wishes for Eyes of Blue. This is basically Ash bait. This got ashed several times. You discard a card from your hand, and you search your deck for a spell or trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then also a level 1 light tuner, which, like, you can search Valor with this, which is crazy. Oh no, you fell down. Come here, Papa. We're almost done with the main deck. All right, next. The Primite builds play 1 of this, but I opted for 3 of the Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. This card's insane. It basically starts your combo for you. If you already have Blue Eyes White Dragon on your field, you can summon any one of your tuners from your deck. that obviously mentioned Blue Eyes. So like the Neo Kaiser Seahorse, the Master, even the Maiden. Yes, even the maiden. Next up, this is a $5 card now, or I think maybe closer to $3. But it was in Age of Overlord. It's called Synchro Rumble, and it mentions Crimson Dragon. It can protect it from destruction while in the graveyard. But do you know what that means? Anytime you special summon Crimson Dragon, you get to search your deck for this for free. This is Monster Reborn for any tuner. Do you understand that? This is your missing body. You can frequently end on Hot Red Archfiend Abyss and 2 Spirit Dragons, which equals the Neo Spirit Dragon, which is the negate, and a Blazar Dragon, which is another negate. Shout out to Blazar Turbo. I love that card. It felt so good to summon it so frequently in the tournament. And once Blazar's on the field, it's basically over. Like, it's game. Like, they're dead. They're dead, Papa. They're dead. All right, next, you play a couple of the bricks. The one Mausoleum of White. This is the field spell. Shout out to Legendary Collection Kaiba. I managed to get one of those a while back. So I got to rarity upgrade that. The additional normal summon is broken, and then so is the dump Blue Eyes White Dragon, because it targets one of your guys, which is really broken with Maiden. Next up, the True Light. You only need to play one. If it gets banished, whatever, but as long as it's in graveyard or deck or hand, you can just place it from the field with your hyper-searchable Maiden. Maiden is, like, really, like, what got this deck going. Like, there's so many one-card combos in this deck. Like, it's unbelievable. And they're even better if you have a discard, too. Because a lot of lines basically search out your, what's it called? What is that card called? Wishes for Eyes of Blue. And that needs a discard. But you don't necessarily need to do that. You can just go the Roar lines. And that even plays around, like, Ash and stuff. Like, it's absolutely crazy. The deck is awesome. I should probably be playing it more mid-range. But you know me. I got to play combos with a bunch of engines. And you're going to be surprised at what engines I include in the 60-card Blue Eyes list. Make sure you subscribe for that one. Majesty of White Dragons is the last Blue Eyes card I played. I didn't bother to play the Fusion card. I think I might consider that, though, because it's just really good for recycling your engine. And I found that since I only played one Neo Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon or whatever, that once it's outed, you can't really access the 12s anymore. And that turns off the rest of your level 12 Synchro package. So, I think I just want to play the Fusion just so that I can have a little bit of recyclability. But Majesty of White Dragons is amazing. It's a non-targeting pop as long as you can reveal at least one Blue Eyes in your grave, field, or hand. Ba-bam, ba-bam. Non-targeting destruction, Papa. Non-targeting destruction. All right. Next up is hand traps and defensive cards. I played like 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, and then 3 talents and a call by. So 16 and 45, and then plus the 3 talents. It's like close to 19, I guess. I probably could have afforded more, but I generally don't like hand traps. I like the board breaker approach. And I forgot who said it, but when you're playing with board breakers, you kind of have to be smarter because you're not simplifying the game state with hand traps. And it allows you to be put in a scenario where you use board breakers to help you crack your opponent's board. Obviously, against FTKs, like I lost to So Handsome Steve the other night, obviously board breakers are not going to do anything against an FTK, but, I mean, that is what it is. You can side some hand traps. But you can get away with having less board breakers than hand traps, because you need multiple hand traps, which is why when you play hand traps, you have to play, like, a ridiculous amount, like 16 to 18 in a 40-card deck. I sided in a bunch of hand traps, so I had 20 hand traps in the main deck against Steve, and I saw one Droll, and he had the cross out for the Droll. So there's my rant on hand traps, but I did try the hand trap build for this deck because it's very good with hand traps since it's one-card combos, but you could throw a bunch of other garbage in the deck, and I think it'll make it even more fun and more explosive. So I'm definitely going to try that. But this version is the hand trap version. So 3 Nibiru the Primal Being, obviously. In rare instances, if you nib your opponent, you can get one of your level 1 tuners and synchro summon your Crimson Dragon for free, which is really broken. So shout out to having a level 11 body. 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. You're probably saving this for the Wishes for Eyes of Blue or your opponent's key card if you're not playing the mirror. 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This card was insane today. This card's insane in this format. Pop True Light with this. People are playing around it, like doing it in end phase. It doesn't matter. I still get to pop your board. Yay! Which was interesting because my opponent, it was the mirror. It was Tyler. He was on Blue Eyes, obviously. And I had Nib and Ogre. And so he played around Nib. He ended on Spheres and 4 summons. And then he activated True Light in end phase to play around it. And I had the Ogre for it, so I got to pop his Spheres, which is really cool. But Ghost Ogre, I think I'm going to keep if I cut the hand traps. Because, like, it's that good. Next up, Effect Veiler. This is an engine card. If you bricked, you can normal summon this and start your full combo. It's, like, actually insane. Because it's a level 1 spellcaster light monster. And it's a tuner, so it's searchable by your wishes. And by Sage with Eyes of Blue. Next up, I named 1 Droll and Lockbird. I wanted 3 Droll on my list, but the side deck only had space for 2. So I ended up throwing 1 into the main. I don't even remember if I saw Droll. Oh, yeah. I did see Droll, and then I got cross-outed. 3 Infinite Impermanence. Duh. Could stop Detonator. Or, well, make it pop itself, I guess. 3 Talents, aforementioned. But, yeah, Board Breaker Approach. It's going to be tough, this format, because there are shenanigans out there. But I really do like the Board Breaker Approach, which is why Tenpai Sky Striker is one of my favorite decks this format. And then the one Called by the Grave for the 45th card. All right, I spent forever on that. I'm going to blaze through the extra deck and stuff like that. So, 3 Spirit of... What is it called? Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. I managed to get a Platinum Rare in one of my openings, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, mandatory 3 of. It's a broken card. It's like what you center your entire game plan off of. Well, for this version. The Primite version, I've seen people end on Spheres more often, and they love playing around Nibiru the Primal Being, which is sad for me. I did, for other level 9s, I opted to play the new card, Lightstorm Dragon, out of Supreme Darkness, Suda. I'm sure you guys have this. It's the Spell and Trap Popper, and you can bring it off of Spirit Dragon. And when Spirit Dragon destroys this at the end phase, you get to set a spell or trap from your graveyard. It was made for Blue Eyes because you can't even activate that spell or trap unless you have a normal monster on the field. So, like, it's literally made for that, for this deck. Hi, cutie. The other level 9, we have a Crimson Dragon target for the level 9s, and it's the Hot Red that I mentioned. So, if your opponent Dark Rulers you, I don't know who's going to be on Dark Ruler this format, but if they Dark Ruler you, you can chain True Light to either set or special summon to Blue Eyes, and you can chainlink 2 Hot Red to negate the face-up Dark Ruler, and then their Dark Ruler doesn't go off, and you get to keep your Spirit Dragon or multiple Spirit Dragons if that's what your board is. Next up, Crimson Dragon himself. I got to summon this so many times during tournament. In testing, this card's just amazing as well. Like, it's basically part of all your end boards, or you're getting to it with your end board on your opponent's turn. Next up, I opted to play only 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Like I mentioned, I might include the Fusion card so that I can, like, recycle it at least if I need to get into a grind game. Because the Fusion card is going to be hyper searchable by your wishes, or even your True Light. I think you could just set it off of True Light, honestly, as long as it's not in your graveyard. So yeah, it's just really broken, and definitely want to try that. I opted for this, but I didn't summon it once. What's this card called? Stardust Cipher Divine Dragon. I mean, sure, it can protect your guys from destruction, but I really value the Omni Negate that you get with Cosmic Blazar Dragon. This is one of my favorite Synchro monsters to summon. Back in the day, I had a deck called Blazar Turbo, Build a Board Workshop, and I used to summon this, like, basically using my whole extra deck, and I'd end on a crazy field of, like, Sarguja, Cosmic Blazar, properly summoned with a bunch of draws off of Hyper Librarian, and in addition to that, Gamma Seal with the Kyoto Waterfront up. So just a ton of negates. That deck was insane. You might be able to find it if you look back on the channel. But yeah, I love Cosmic Blazar Dragon. I always summoned that one. I never summoned Divine Cipher. But there are applications where you might want to summon it to protect your board from destruction. Fusions, I played Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card's awesome, being able to attack all the opponent's monsters. I honestly wish it did piercing, but then it would probably be too broken. But I did get to set an Imperm off of it, which was nice. And you could set True Light if it gets popped in a previous turn. Don't forget that your Spirit Dragon can negate your True Light in the graveyard. So you can activate True Light during your main phase if you already have a Spirit Dragon on board. Because, because you can negate any graveyard effect. It's basically like a once Abyss Dweller type effect. Like if your opponent activates a card in the graveyard, you can just negate it once while you have your Spirit Dragon on there. So that's pretty cool. The other fusion that I played is the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So this is really cool because the Wishes for Eyes of Blue's graveyard effect to banish itself can target a Blue Eyes White Dragon and equip this. So you can actually use that to hard summon the Tyrant Dragon by distributing the Blue Eyes to summon that, which I did in tournament. But when this is in graveyard, you can banish it to negate an effect that targets a Blue Eyes monster on your field, which is really cool. So I definitely opted for that, and which means that I can just instantly put Ultimate Fusion in there, and it'll always be usable because I've got two different targets that I can use for that card, which is great. I'll have to play the third Blue Eyes White Dragon for that, unless I talents take control of my opponent's Blue Eyes White Dragon, but that's just a fringe scenario. Next up is the last four links. Two of the new Spirit with Eyes of Blue. This is one of the most broken link ones in the game. I love this card. Searches the field spell. One Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. I don't remember if I used this at all. I might have summoned it once. And then finally, SP Little Knight. It was between this and Lina. I mean, like, honestly, I don't know. But I might include Bystials in this deck too. But SP wasn't that didn't perform that well. Shout out to Team Bad Cards. But I did end up summoning it, and I was able to dodge a talent to take by banishing itself and the Hot Red that I had on my board. And my last Spirit Dragon, I did not want my opponent to take my Spirit Dragon, so I chained Spirit Dragon's effect, and they ended up taking what I summoned off of Crimson Dragon. Or, Spirit Dragon, which was Crimson Dragon. So they just had a vanilla Crimson Dragon, and they weren't on my list, so they basically took a vanilla. Finally, side deck really quick. This is where I had my spice. So I wanted to include a bunch of different stuff, so there was a lot of 2-ofs, but unfortunately that means you're not going to see them as much. 2 Artifact Lancia for Malice. I don't think I saw it. I really wish I did, though. 2 Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. I had the meta call. I knew that everyone was going to be playing the Blue Eye Structure deck. If I had seen this, you call Spheres or Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, and your opponent just cries. They literally have no plays. What is this deck without Blue Eye Spirit Dragon? You can even banish the Link 1 if you want. Or you could throw it in for SP, but, I mean, who's banishing SP? But yeah, like, this card, in theory, is insane, but I didn't get to apply it, unfortunately. I put it in all the mirror matches, but I never drew it. But that's what you get. It was a cute idea. Next up, the second and third Drone Lockbird, just for those crazy decks. Only 2 Crossout Designator. I mean, you're pretty resilient through hand traps, but it's nice and stuff, and you could draw it. I play D-Barrier in here as well, and that would probably be the best target for this D-Barrier. Next up, I opted for 3 Triple Tactics Thrust to search the normal spells. The normal spells are basically your Emergency Teleport and your Searcher, so going second, you can easily grab that, or set a D-Barrier, or search evenly. Oh, you drooled all over my shirt, Papa. All right, next up, the Dimensional Barrier. The Evenly Matched. And finally, my other spicy tech, Synchro Zone. So this card says it's a continuous trap that says only Synchro monsters can declare attacks. So it's basically your opponent can't attack unless they pop this, and only Synchro monsters can attack. The really cool secret bonus effect of this, though, is that during the main phase, you can send this to graveyard to Synchro Summon. So usually you end on True Light with the Maiden in grave. So you can use True Light to special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard, which will trigger the Maiden to summon itself. Then you can send this away to Synchro Summon for 9 on your opponent's turn to make another Spirit Dragon that your opponent did not see coming in a million years. Hopefully someone can break this tech. It might not be broken enough to be applicable, but I thought it was really cool. It did not come up because I didn't draw it, because there's no way to search this like a lot of the other cards. But like, it's just one of those floodgates that you kind of just got to draw, and it might help you out. But at the end of the day, like, if you're explosive enough to just negate your opponent's whole hand, you won't need the floodgate like that. But I just thought it was cool, and I wanted to try it. But yeah. Yeah, you summon out a Spirit Dragon, and then you can bring out the guy that pops the spells and traps and stuff. Or bring out a Crimson Dragon and go into your Stardust Cipher Dragon. But yeah, like I said, it didn't come up. All right, that was my long, overwinded 45 card top 16 deck profile at locals. I got like 12th or 13th with X3. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and then subscribe so you can see the next iteration of this deck. I promise you are going to cry. I mean, enjoy it. You're gonna have a great time. All right, guys, subscribe for more. Bye bye.